Hello, my name is Rob and welcome to Metal Monthly. This is a video series where we talk about everything that happened in metal music over the past month. Now you may be wondering, what's this in my hand? This is the script to the video because this month I figured I would try something different and record this entire video in one go. So I'm going to need the script to just remind me what on earth I'm talking about. The reason I'm doing this is because it's an interesting new fun way of doing it. It's totally not because it's Sunday afternoon and I completely forgot to record this and it needs to go up on Monday morning. It's not that at all. That is slander. I will sue you. Anyway, let's get on and talk about what happened in metal music in March 2024. And let's begin with albums. What albums came out? Bruce Dickinson released the Mandrake Project. This is Bruce Dickinson's first solo project since 2005 when he released Tyranny of Souls. So it's been 19 years since his last solo project. Since that time he's done a billion things. So how was this? Was this good? Let me just check my notes. Yes, it was. It was a pretty good album. This is going really well. So one of the tracks on this album was based on his experience going to William Wordsworth's grave, which feels like a very Bruce Dickinson thing to me. Is that just me? Surprisingly academic, I think was the word. So Brucey D, what's he done? So this album was interesting. It's not Iron Maiden. I kind of went into the album thinking it was going to sound like Iron Maiden, and it doesn't. It's very much about Bruce and his vocals, and then it does get heavy, but not in an Iron Maiden way. It's not got the melody and the speed of Iron Maiden. It's just kind of a heavy album with Bruce fronting it. I've never been a big fan of Bruce's solo work, but actually I quite enjoyed this. Blah, 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 blah. Kind of reminded me of Book of Souls. I wasn't a huge fan of Book of Souls. It kind of reminds me of that, so some bits of this go on for a bit too long. It's a little bit too self-indulgent, but the actual music, the vocals, I quite enjoyed it. Anyway, the lyrics are a bit emo and sad, I've written here. I wrote this entire script while Esther drove us back from Scotland today, so there's going to be some mistakes. But basically, I quite enjoyed the album. It's a bit sad, it's a bit self-indulgent, but it's pretty good. Apparently it's an entire project. It's not just an album. The Mandrake Project is a concept album, and with it comes a comic book with, I've written it here, 12 parts of a comic book. It's a bit very deep. It's a bit absorbed. I'm not going to get that obsessed with it. You're welcome to. It's interesting. I like that he's doing something interesting and fun and weird. Anyway, next up we have got Judas Priest, which my phone rerouted to Jurassic Priest. Better name, honestly. Judas Priest have released Invincible Shield. So Judas Priest have got to be the oldest metal band who are still performing. I looked it up. They and ZZ Top both formed in 1969. I need to look up which one of them is actually older. Either way, it's insane. This is their 19th studio album. Absolutely insane. Apparently, at some point he said that it's more progressive in places instead of verse, chorus, solo, chorus, finish. And I listened to it. Yeah, I suppose some of it is a bit different from that. I don't think it's anything groundbreaking. So the first track, which I think was one of the singles, was Panic Attack. That's the first one I listened to. That is really good. It was such a good, fast driving song with a message all about COVID, because this was written partially during the COVID lockdowns, and you can just sense the anger and the frustration at the COVID stuff in the song Panic Attack. It's about anxiety and the anger of mishandling COVID and the online misinformation. Genuinely was a really good song. And it was quite grounded, based in reality, and then all of the rest of the songs are a bit fantastical, and it kind of lost my interest. What is it, The Serpent and the King, Shadow of the Gods or something? There was a few songs that I don't really care about, that fantasy stuff, so that kind of lost me. But they still sound incredible, despite being formed, what is that, 70 years ago? Something insane like that. The band still sound incredible. Force and Speed, Anxiety Attack, still talking about that. Yes, I really enjoyed it. It even has very lengthy guitar solos, which I don't particularly care for, but in Panic Attack, it was really good. The high-pitched voices in it, I don't mind it too much. I know it's just their style. I'm just not the biggest Judas Priest fan, generally. Yes, the other songs were fantastical, and they didn't interest me as much. Basically, that's about it. Ow, I just hit myself in the face. So I listened to the other, I mean, I listened to most of the album, but the other one that the album is based on, Invincible Shield, I listened to that and I really was not a huge fan of that one. It just isn't that good a song. The message was, if the kids are united, they will never be divided, but adding a fantastical element to that, which really bored me. Shout out to Rob Halford, obviously, who still sounds incredible. I think he's 73. I put check and then I didn't check. If he is 73, if he's anywhere in that range, oh my God, he still sounds incredible. That's it. I just wanted to give that a bit of a shout out. Nothing wrong with it, but it's not my favourite album I've ever heard, basically. Next up, Dragon Force with Warp Speed Warriors. I'm not a Dragon Force fan. If you are a Dragon Force fan, maybe skip this one. I'm probably not going to be really happy with it. So genuinely before this, the only thing I knew was that Dragon Force played fast. That was it. Apparently they're one of the big four of power metal with Halloween, Blind Guardian and Sabaton, none of whom I particularly like. But I do like fast thrash music, so there is something about this that I didn't like, and again, I think it's the fantastical elements. Dragon Force do a lot of that. It does not interest me. So the opening song of this album, of Warp Speed Warriors, is called Astro Warrior, and it's a 7-minute piece about space fighter pilots. Let's face it, the entire album is about space fighter pilots. I will admit, the guitars in it are incredible. They are fast and precise, and with a little bit of drums behind it, genuinely did sound incredible. Then you get to the vocals, and genuinely, I think the album would be better if you just got rid of the vocals. Especially that first one, was not a fan. And I like lyrics more than I like music, and I was reading the lyrics to the song as it was playing, and it's all about, I'm a space fighter pilot, I go fast and I shoot stuff. It was so boring. Yeah, that's literally what I've written there, cool. But that was the first album, that was the first song. It sounds pretty much like Dragon Force. Sorry, my cat is in the reflector and he's going to be really annoying. Sorry about that. No, he's in front of me. Hey, John. You want to come say hi? Hi, my name's John. I like metal music. This video's going off the rails. So there were other songs on the album that I actually did quite like. There is one called Space Marine Corps that is a very fun song. It's not got the horrible vocals as before. It's got the guy singing and then like a chorus singing back to him. At one point there is a breakdown and they do a military style chant in it. Genuinely was a very fun, enjoyable song. The thrash element, the fast guitars were less fast, but I quite enjoyed it as more of a song. The band, I know them for playing fast music, but that's not really what they should be known for, because when they don't play fast music, they sound a lot better. Anyway, next up, and I think finally of the albums, is Sum 41 with Heaven X Hell. I genuinely don't know how you pronounce that. It might be Heaven versus Hell, versus times Hell, versus and Hell. I don't know. So, Sum 41, are they a metal band? Well, they do metal songs. Sorry, John's here. I don't know if you can see him, but I'm going to be fussing him for the rest of the video. Sum 41 do some metal songs. They do some pop punk songs. And the idea of this album is that the pop punk, the Heaven part, is on the first half of the album, and then it switches into the Hell, the heavy metal part of the album. That's a fun way of doing it. They are a band who do pop punk and metal. That's a great way of splitting it up. So this is their final album before they split up. They're doing this album, a tour for this album, and then that's it. Sum 41 are gone forever. So is this album a good swan song for them? Yes. Yes, it is. It was such a good album. I really enjoyed it. I'm more of a pop punk person, so the pop punk, the first part of the album, I enjoyed a lot more, but the metal part of the album was really good as well. They're just such a good band. I really want to go see them on their final tour. I don't know if I can. Yeah, they sound exactly like they did 20 years ago. They've still got the passion, I don't want to say aggression there, because that's not really what I think when I think Sum 41, but they've got something that they still had. They sound exactly the same. The vocalist sounds exactly the same. It's fantastic. Genuinely, they just sound more mature. The music is slightly more elevated than just a 2-minute pop punk song. Genuinely, it's really good. Then it gets into the heavy metal stuff and the drums become more of a focus. There is still some guitar solos in there, and it becomes the more classic screechy heavy metal guitar sound towards the end of the album, which was interesting. I did not mind that at all. Towards the end of the album, there is a cover of Paint It Black that was really good. I know everybody covers Painted Black, but genuinely was very good. And the final song, How the End Begins, was, oh my god, such a good song to end on. I know that's the point. It sounded kind of like Linkin Park to me, which I really enjoyed because I love Linkin Park, who doesn't? Basically, this album was great. I loved it. If you've ever loved anything by Sum 41, check the album out and then go see if you can go see them on their final tour, because it's going to be very weird to live in a world without Sum 41 anymore. Anyway, that's the albums that came out. Next up is Music Festival Explorer. This is my website where I write about heavy metal. This month, I have not written about heavy metal. I've been too busy. I haven't written anything. But if you want to check out my website, please do. There are links in the description to 2 of the best articles I think I've ever written. Are Slipknot satanic? That's something that my website kept showing up for, so I wrote about it. And also, who invented the term heavy metal? I've written an article on that. It's interesting. Please read it. Links in the description. Thanks. And finally, we have the fun story from last month. And this is about the heavy metal musician Sullivan King. Damn it, the memory card ran out of space just as I got to that final bit. Let's go back from where I started from, which was, I think, the fun story. The fun story of last month. It's about Sullivan King, who is a heavy metal artist who is kind of well known for mixing heavy metal with drum and bass, electronica, things like that. Recently, he shared a video on, I think, his TikTok, where he was performing at a gig and he finished playing the guitar and threw it to his guitar tech. Apparently that's a thing that you do. I don't think I'd ever do that. Guitars are expensive. Anyway, so he threw the guitar to his guitar tech and then realised that it wasn't his guitar tech, it was the photographer for the band, who then saw a guitar flying at him. So he jumped out of the way and then they both stood staring at each other like, dude! The photographer is thinking, why have you just thrown a guitar at me? And Sullivan is thinking, why have you just not catched my guitar? Genuinely very funny video. I don't want to play the whole thing. I'll probably put a clip here or something. But anyway, that was fun. That's the fun story from this month. There really hasn't been much else. I tried to research, but that was it. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this, please do click like and subscribe wherever those buttons are. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed this rather rambled, nonsensical approach to this video. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. My name is Rob, and I will see you in another video very soon.